Hey there, Fourth and Short family. Welcome to Week 7 Monday night and Week 8 Thursday night edition. This is episode 4. I'm your host, CJ, as always. Real quick, before we get into any football talk, just quick sellout moment. As always, like, subscribe, share, turn on the notification button so anytime we update or post any videos, you get the notification. And as always, thank you for all the love and support you guys have shown on these videos so far. So, as you can see, we got a new whiteboard. I'm going to be putting stuff on there, Fourth and Short. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. But real quick, let's get into the Monday Night Football talk between the Vikings and 49ers. Overall, real good game. Be honest with you, both quarterbacks played relatively well through 3 quarters at least. Kirk had a great game. Minnesota ended up winning 22-17. Both QBs as again played well into the fourth quarter when Purdy dropped 2 interceptions that kind of gave away the game for the 49ers. All right, so let's get into some of the talk. Like I said, great game by both teams. Christian McCaffrey, healthy as ever. Didn't look like he had any injury. But on the quarterbacks, Purdy, 21 for 30, 272 yards, a touchdown. And then again, those 2 late interceptions of the fourth quarter kind of killed any comeback the 49ers wanted, thought they'd have. Kirk Cousins, 35 of 45, 378 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception, no sacks. Overall, both quarterbacks great. Kirk was hitting his receivers all game. Addison, Osborne, Powell all open. TJ Hawkinson was open all game. 49ers defense couldn't cover nobody. It seemed like Ward had a decent game. He was getting some nice tackles. Christian McCaffrey, 15 carries, 45 yards, and a touchdown. He also added 3 receptions, 51 yards, and a touchdown. He looked great last night. Looked healthy as ever. Running backs over Minnesota They had their moments between Akers and Madison. Both had a good combo carries right there. The receivers, like I said, Addison had an amazing game. As I mentioned, I think it was Monday on the last episode, all these rookie wide receivers are having great years. Addison finally getting his show out game. He's been getting a lot of opportunities with Jefferson out over on San Francisco side. Kittle had a great game. Brandon Ayuk had a good game. Jennings had a great game. Back to Minnesota, TJ Hawkinson was open all the time, 11 catches, 12 targets. He was open all game in the middle of the field, on the right side of the field. They just didn't know what to do with him, which is surprising for as good as the 49ers linebackers were, which move on to the defense. Shout out to Minnesota for what they were able to do with that against that defense. Between Warner, Greenlaw, Burks had a great game, a lot of big tackles. That group of linebackers is amazing. We'll talk about Fred Warner here in a minute. I want to give him a shout out on his impressive just ability to play the linebacker position. Like I said, Travarius Ward had a bunch of nice tackles. Nick Bosa had a solid game, but I just didn't hear his name a lot. There was a couple times I seen him miss a couple tackles on the running backs. Over on the defensive side for Minnesota, Cameron Bynum had a great game. I think he had that huge fumble on Christian McCaffrey towards the. I think it might have been towards on the first drive actually, which Minnesota had. 49ers had 3 straight games where they scored on the opening drive, and then Bynum was able to make Christian McCaffrey fumble. But great game by him. Hicks was very consistent like he always is. Harrison Smith had a big hit on Kittle. But overall, great game. Danielle Hunter had a great game. Got his 80th sack of his career. So shout out to him for that accomplishment. Real quick, on to Fred Warner. This guy is very fun to watch. Great player to watch tonight. He had 13 tackles, tackle for loss, 7 solo. He's just amazing linebacker to watch. Very instinctive, very quick. And at that linebacker position, or any position really, when you have very good instincts, it helps your acceleration. So the way he's able to instinctively go after the ball as a playmaker and just hit where the ball is going to go before it seems like even the quarterback knows that where he's going to put the ball. Just very instinctive, very quick, great tackler, and probably the best linebacker, overall linebacker in the league right now. Like I said, great linebacker, very fun to watch. Then on to Addison, amazing game before he got hurt. I can't remember if he came back in. I don't think he came back in, but shout out to him. Like I said, what was it? 7 receptions, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Probably should have had a third. Probably should have had a third touchdown. They could not cover him. And then at the end of the first half, they had that big 60-yard reception with like, I don't know, 20 seconds left or whatever. Kirk throws it. I thought the defender had it. Addison just muscled it away from him, took it, then ran it the rest of the way. So shout out to the rookie Addison, who had a great game. And finally, and he's been showing out in the absence of JJ. So again, these rookie wide receivers have been amazing this year. They've all been fun to watch. Then Powell, when Addison went out, stepped up big, had some big plays at the end. Osborne had his moments. So shout out to Minnesota for what they were able to do against that very good 49ers defense. And I don't know, it was a great game overall. Both teams played well. Minnesota moves to 3-4. San Francisco drops to 5-2. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised just how good McCaffrey is. If he's healthy, you play him 100%. You play him. But the way Trey Mason's playing, who didn't get no carries last night, and Elijah Mitchell, who's had impressive moments since he's been in the league, to get one carry, like McCaffrey had 15. So you would think they try to preserve him a little bit and give these other guys opportunities, because Mason, he's had his moments. Same with Mitchell. But to give them like no carries apiece, I don't know how I feel about that. But again, I'm not a head coach, so maybe that's why. But real quick, let's look at the standings. With that being said, the 49ers dropped to 5-2, a game ahead of Seattle, so 49ers still at the top of the division. They're kind of running that division. Arizona's nobody should be worried about Arizona. They're tanking. Their defense is not good. Their offense isn't very good. They have a couple random pieces here and there at different positions, but overall they're not good. They don't know what they're going to do with Murray at all. So who knows what they're doing? They're tanking and going to try to grab one of those quarterbacks. Again, Williams is probably the number one pick, but watch out for Penix Jr. Watch out for him. That's my prediction to be one of the next good quarterbacks. Rams, don't know what they're doing. Don't know if they're selling, buying. Don't know what Donald's going to do. He's getting older. There was all that rumors of retirement talk with him and McVay. I don't think McVay is retiring at all. I don't believe that. Donald, that's another story. He might. He's got all the accolades. He's got his Super Bowl. So who knows what he does? He got the money. But still a great defender. Seattle, great squad as always. Their defense is always well. Gino, like I said Monday, shout out to him for not flopping this year like I thought he would. Oh, real quick, sellout moment for my brother Ernest Barbie E Cuts down in West Virginia. You want a nice haircut? Go hit him up. Shout out to my longtime brother right there. And so 49ers, that's like 49ers division. They should win it. They're probably the number 2 team in the NFC behind Philadelphia. So, and real quick, on to Minnesota. They moved to 3-4. They probably should have a better record. The way Kirk's been playing, you could probably argue, is in that MVP conversation this year, having a great year so far. Let's actually look at his stats real quick. Kirk's stats on the year right now, he's 193 for 280, 68.9 completion was rounded up, 69%, over 2,000 yards, almost 300 yards a game, 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions with a 101 rating. He's been great this year. You can't say nothing bad about him. But that defense has been horrendous this year, and that's a big reason why they have kind of lost a lot of games. But that's Detroit's division right now. But who knows? It's Detroit. They're like any of the other bad teams. They always just choke in the playoffs. So who knows what they're going to do? They've been playing well, though. Packers, Jordan Love is still on the fence with him. I don't know what they got with him. Chicago has no idea what they're doing, I believe. They don't know what they're doing with Fields. They don't. Their upper management has got a lot of issues going on. They got a lot of stuff going. Shout them for getting that win though, but I'm not. It was Brian Hoyer. Not impressed. You know what I mean? I'm not impressed by a win, but they got a win. A win's a win. But like I said, Chicago don't know what they're doing. Green Bay, I don't know if they know what they got with Jordan Love yet. So I think that's between Minnesota and Detroit. I think Detroit still is probably going to win that division. But Jefferson comes back. Who knows? If that defense gets a little bit better. And they got Brian Flores out there, so I'm surprised that defense isn't better than what it should be. But and I've got some records down. The combined records of both those teams. 49ers opponent combined records for the rest of the season are 27-26. Vikings are 31-36. Vikings don't have a very tough schedule. They got the Packers, Falcons, Saints, Denver, Chicago, Raiders, Bengals, and then Lions and Packers. They got an average schedule. They got a winnable schedule. They got a very winnable schedule. And 49ers, they definitely got a winnable schedule. 49ers could win out. They got Bengals winnable, Jacksonville. It's going to be a tough game. That's going to be a good game. They got Tampa winnable, Seattle winnable, Arizona by far winnable. Baltimore's a tough game. Washington and Rams. I mean, with the Baltimore game, they got the athletes to match Lamar. With Bosa, Greenlaw, like I said, Warner, Ward. They got the guys out there. And then the Rams are winnable. So they got a very easy winnable schedule the rest of the way. So it's going to be a fun game. But Minnesota, who knows? So, all right. So that's enough of that. Let's move on to our Thursday night game between Buffalo and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So this game shouldn't be too bad. Tampa Bay's 3-3, Buffalo's 4-3. Buffalo coming off a big tough loss against New England. I don't know how they lost that game. To be 100% honest with you, they should have won that game very easily. I don't know how they lost it. So shout out to New England on that one. Tampa Bay coming off a tough loss against Atlanta without Bijan. So let's talk about this game a little bit. Dawson Knox is on the injury report. I don't know what he's got going on at the moment. Give me a second. Let's see if they got anything else on. Dawson Knox. Real quick. Out in Buffalo. Not Baltimore. When you're looking at Baltimore, sir, you need Buffalo. Buffalo right there. Dawson Knox is out with a wrist injury. So Dawson Knox will not be playing. So that will bring up Dalton Kincaid will probably get him all the tight end catches. Who's having an okay rookie year. I thought he was going to be the top rookie tight end this year. Looks like it's going to be Luke Musgrave and Laporta. The two tight ends have been balling out. But he's had a good rookie year so far. So get some numbers. Baker Mayfield questionable at the moment. He limited practice. Him and Chris Godwin both limited practice. Baker with his knee, Godwin with his neck. See if they got anything else on them real quick. Scroll all the way down here. Right there we go. Let's see if anything else has came up on them. Questionable for Thursday game. Godwin is questionable. So who knows? They might not go. So if Godwin's out and Baker's out, that means who's the backup in Tampa Bay? Kyle Trask will get to go. So that don't vary. That's not good for Tampa Bay. It's going to be a field day for Buffalo's defense, which we'll get to the defensive stats and all that here in a minute. And then with Godwin out, that brings up Tompkins and Palmer. Tompkins had his moments this year. Palmer too. Godwin's a big loss for him though. Great targets. Same right there on par with Mike Evans. He catches the ball, 398 yards on the season. He has no touchdown. Those have all gone to Mike Evans, which is expected. Mike Evans doing his thing this year. So, guy was going to be a big loss for him. So, let's talk about Buffalo. Let's move on to Buffalo a little bit. And I guess how they come off that loss against um, New England, which again, I'm very surprised they lost that game. I don't get it. Seems like they choke in these games every time. Josh Allen, 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception, 27-41, which isn't crazy good. Mac Jones had an amazing game, 25 for 30, 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, which we went over this Monday, but talk a little bit on again. It's just that defense is supposed to be good. That's supposed to be a top defense. They're where they at on defense. Their defense ranking, they're 22 in total yards given. Second in takeaways. Passing yards are 12th in the league. Rushing yards are horrible against around 28. So that's why Stevenson had a great game. Stevenson 9 for 34 and then 6 for 51. So they had a better passing game than they did a running game, which again their passing defense is 12th. So I don't understand. It just don't make sense. They always seem to lose those games they should win. And I think Allen's in that same Herbert spot. It's like he's had more success than Herbert, but him and Herbert keep getting these passes and getting put in these tiers. It's like, okay, y'all are talented, but eventually that talent has to equal those playoff wins, those big wins. And Allen can't beat Mahomes. Seems like he can't beat Burrow. Herbert can't beat any of them. So it's like, is this the year that Allen finally gets held accountable for not wins and being 4-3 on the season? You guys were supposed to win that division. That was supposed to be your division. And then Aaron Rodgers goes out. Who's supposed to stop you? Miami's the only other team really competitive in that division right now. I mean, Jets have their defense, but the offense, without Rodgers, it's not the same. It's nowhere near what it was supposed to be. And then you go to New England. Definitely should win that. Mac Jones, who's a lot of people say is on his way out the door. 42.6 QBR, 1,400 yards, and then 7 touchdowns, 7 picks. Not impressive at all. And it's like you let that man throw on your defense, who's supposed to be a top-end defense, with a defensive head coach, 272 yards, 2 touchdowns. You're second in the league in takeaways, and he don't even throw 1 interception. Why? That don't make sense. Like, it just... And then Josh Allen not having the best game, it's like, oh, come on. And then New England has injuries all over the place, and they still bopped you 29-25. It's like, come on, you guys got to pull these games. These are win games. You have to win these games, especially with Jacksonville the way they're playing. Chiefs as always, Miami, Ravens. And then you got up and coming teams that can still pull it out if they get healthy with the Bengals, Chargers, Pittsburgh just beat the Rams. I don't think they're going anywhere, but I'm just saying if they figure it out, it's Pittsburgh. They still got a good, decent defense. And it's like, so what are you gonna do with those teams at 4-3? You gotta these games you have to win. You have to beat the bottom of the barrel teams this year, and they lose 29-25. It's a choke. So I don't know how you rebound from that. To be honest with you, you have to play better. Josh Allen's gonna have to play better. Buccaneers defense is better than New England's overall. 3rd in takeaways, 11th in total yards. They're 19th in passing yards, but 7th in rushing yards. So how's Cook gonna rebound? Cook's been having a decent year. Been very impressed by him. Last game, 13 for 56. So they're going to probably key on him a lot. Allen, who's a running quarterback. But on the flip side, that Tampa Bay offense isn't the best either. And now you lost Godwin and Baker's playing hurt. But look at Josh Allen's stats, who's had a really good year. Honestly, you probably put him somewhere in the top 5 to 10 MVP race. with he's third in completion percentage, sixth in passing yards, eighth in passing game. He's tied for second with Mahomes with in touchdowns and tied for, but he has 7 interceptions, so he's tied for third interception. And as always, he throws his interceptions. But he's third in QBR, sixth in pass rating, and has 4 rushing touchdowns. So I don't know. Seems like he chokes every time. Having a great year, and then he comes to this and just it's not impressive. And then on the flip side, Baker having probably one of his better years he's had in a while. 21st. I mean, he's 21st in completion percentage. At 65.2, that's not horrible, but compared to all the other standards, it's bad. He's 19th in yards. He's 17th in yards a game. He's 14th in touchdowns, and he's got his interceptions low. 15th in QBR, which is not the best. So he's about right in the middle field, and 15th in passer rating. So he's been right in the middle of the field, top 15 quarterback at basically everything. But he seems like what I've watched of him, he's had moments where he's just being more efficient, not making dumb plays. He's got 2 really good receivers out there. Ottoman is not a bad receiver at all. Auden. Yeah, Auden. It's had a decent year, 18 for 23, 147 yards, touchdown. But he's been very, overall, efficient, I feel like. 65.2, that's middle of the field. So he's had a decent year, but it's the run game. Their run game has not been good at all. Rashad White has had he was supposed to be, the guy this year, and he's kind of flopped hard. They need to go get Fournette back. That's what they need to do. Play off Lenny. But, first game against Chicago, 73 yards. Cool, touchdown. Had a good first game. Then just 14 for 38, 15 for 56, 7 for 26, 13 for 34. So Baker's being forced to throw because the running game just ain't there. The Tavius Murray's had his moments. Vaughn, you know what I mean? But nobody else is really. Oh, Tavius over Buffalo. My fault. Tampa Bay, it's just the running game has not impressed any. So Baker's having to throw. If he can get a rushing game, that's when Baker, I feel, is most effective, is when he has a rushing game going. He can play action and kind of not have to throw the ball so much. And he's more efficient that way. I mean, look at that. 8 touchdowns, not the most, but only 4 interceptions. It's not horrible. It's low compared to some guys. I mean, Allen's got 7, but Allen's bigger arm, likes to throw more. So, should be, overall, I think it's going to be a good game. Both defenses, especially if Kyle Trask plays. I don't know what Tampa Bay's going to do. Expect White to get the ball a lot, I would feel like. And then Godwin's out. So if Godwin's out, expect Evans and a younger quarterback who's not, I don't feel like is as good as Baker, obviously. Expect the tight end and Mike Evans to get spammed. A lot of screens to White, who's had his moments at 22 of 23, 163 yards, so he catches the ball. So expect that. A lot of screen passes, short passes. Mike Evans might have a low game. Something probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 catches, 50 yards. I don't expect him to have a big game, 45, 50 yards. Auden could probably get 3 or 4 catches for 40-some yards. I can see White getting 6 catches. Let's see his catches on the year. Receiving. Yeah, so I can see him getting 5, 6 catches for 30, 40 yards. But it's not going to be good for Tampa Bay overall if Baker's not playing. Defense is going to have a tough game, but they've been good. Overall, they've been good. David having a great year at 53 tackles, 2 sacks. Winfield Jr. had that big forced fumble against Atlanta. Playing good this year, 42 tackles, 2 sacks from the safety position. White having another decent year. Vita Vea has, 3.5 sacks on the year. So, should be a good game. I think it's going to be a good game, to be honest with you. Should be a good game overall. Let's look at My X factors for the game. Let's look at my Buffalo offense X factors. On offense, because the Tampa Bay, what was their their rushing defense is really good. So it's gonna be put on Allen, I think, a lot. I don't think they're gonna run a lot. I think Allen's gonna pass. Well, unless they get up big, obviously they're gonna start running more. But I think Gabe Davis is gonna need to have a big game. I'm not gonna put it on Diggs. Diggs gonna do what Diggs does. Gabe Davis is gonna have to step up as he's got 4 touchdowns on the year, 347 yards, 22-35. So it's not like he hasn't been targeted. I mean, it's Diggs' team. Diggs is that guy, as always. But I think Gabe could have a good game. I think it's gonna be Gabe Davis's game. So that's my X factor on the offense. On the X factor for the defense, being whether it's Baker or Kyle Trask, being it's been running, means they're gonna pass, and the Tampa Bay's or Buffalo's rushing defense has been awful. Is going to they're gonna have to get to the quarterback. With Ed Oliver possibly out. What they say about Ed Oliver? Where you at, Oliver? Sir Aid. The last thing is questionable. So for his toe, he's listed as questionable, so he might not even play. So with that being said, I mean you probably gotta go with the Matt Miliano. He's got 30 tackles on the year, tackle for loss. He's gonna have to play up. He's gonna have to play on White a lot probably. He's a good corner. He's a good linebacker. Don't get it wrong. He very quick, instinctive. But so I'm gonna say Miliano, because Poyer and Hyde, they're gonna do their things. They're gonna have to worry about Evans, Auden, but they're probably gonna have to play up some. Being they're not going to have to worry about Godwin as much. They're going to have Tompkins, who had 1 or 2 moments this year, but he's not Godwin. So I see him playing up some, but I think Miliano, being he's going to have to worry about the running back and the tight end with a younger quarterback who's not Baker, has to, he's going to have to feed off to the sides a lot. So that's going to bring in Miliano a lot. Let's go to Tampa Bay offense. We'll say if Baker plays, I think White. I think whether Baker plays or Trask plays, it's going to fall on White. It's going to fall on White if he plays well or not. I think he has to play good against this defense, against that horrible rushing defense. Their passing defense is decent, the upper half of the league at 12th, with they've only given up 1,400 passing yards. So I think it's going to fall on White. I think Evans is going to try to do Evan things. Auden is going to be Auden, but I think it's going to fall on White because he's going to set the tone. If Trask playing, he's going to probably have to catch the ball a lot. So he's going to be a big part of that offense, I think. Now, whether he does good or not, I'm not sure. But being Buffalo's ranked 28th in the league in rushing defense, he's going to have a good game, I think. On the defensive side of the ball, I think with Diggs and, like I said, Gabe Davis is going to have a game, I think. I'm going to say Winfield Jr., who is having a really good year, has been really solid since he came in the league. The son of Anthony Winfield, I'm pretty sure played for Minnesota. So he's got the parent, the father. So I think he's going to have a good game. He's been very solid with 42 tackles, 2 sacks. With Allen's arm, Diggs' route running ability, I don't think they're going to be able to cover him one-on-one. Their passing defense has not been the best. They're 19th in the league with almost 1,500. So they're not going to be able to leave Dean one-on-one with Diggs. You know what I mean? So he's going to have a big game. because you're not. They're not gonna be able to leave Diggs by himself, and if they do, that's gonna be Gabe Davis. So if they double Gabe Davis or Diggs, they're gonna to have somebody covering Gabe over the top, which is gonna come on Winfield, and he's gonna have to try to play up because their rush defense is seventh in the league. So Cook, you know what I mean. But I think David and White and all of them can handle Shaquille Barrett, can handle that rushing attack like they have all year. So as good as the passing offense is in Buffalo with Diggs, Davis, Kincaid, Allen, that's going to fall on Winfield to play a lot of coverage, to play over, kind of watching both sides a little bit, all the receivers, keeping an eye on Kincaid because with David and all them trying to play up more to maybe get to Allen and his rushing ability, get to him quick, and his ability to take tackles, take the first tackle, and have to have two or three defenders to pull him down as big as he is. It's going to be falling on Winfield to control that passing defense. So Gabe Davis, who I say on Buffalo, Gabe Davis and Miliano, and then Tampa Bay, my X factors are, I think, no matter which quarterback plays, it's going to fall on White. I think White has to be the X factor. And Tompkins is close. Just with if Godwin don't play, one of those receivers are going to have to step up. And then Winfield Jr. on defense, who, again, has had a great year. But I think that's going to be my X factors for the game. But overall, it should be a good game. I think it's going to be a great game. Last Thursday was a great game, to be honest with you. All right, so Tampa Bay's 3-3 right now. Buffalo is 4-3. So as we talked before about the standing, where are the standings? Let's look back up. Let's get back to the standings real quick. So we don't need NBA right now, man. NFL. NBA playing right now. NBA getting back into it. Let's go Miami. Everybody knows I'm a Miami Heat fan. Pretty upset about Damian Lillard. Made me want to cry. Can I please get the standings? Here we go. All right. So we've already talked about Buffalo. Miami's at 5-2. New York 3-3. New England 2-5. That loss last week hurt them. Gave Miami a upper hand. I don't know. They gotta win some of these games. I mean, they got a tough schedule. I was looking at the schedule for the rest of the year for some of these teams, and Buffalo has a tough schedule. I mean, they got Cincinnati. That's winnable unless Cincinnati gets back in their groove. Still winnable. Buffalo should win that. Denver 2-5 should run away with that. Jets 3-3. They should win that. Should. Philly, tough game. I don't know if they win that game, but that should be a good game. Kansas City, so back to back. Philly, Kansas City, two tough games. So who knows who's gonna win that one? I got Kansas City, of course, but two rough games for Buffalo right there. Then they got Dallas. So 3 straight weeks of tough games between Philly, Kansas City, and Dallas. They got a tough road. Then after that, they go to Chargers. Like I said earlier, if Chargers pick it back up and get back in their groove that everybody knows they could or should, they could bring it back, be another tough game. Then they got New England, who they should have beat and just lost to them. Mac Jones had a field day, and then they got Miami in the season. Buffalo, gets up there with the record. Miami, so that could be for the division title. That could be for number 1 seed. Who knows? The way all these teams are playing. But it's a combined record, 33-26 between all those teams. That's a rough schedule. That's a very rough schedule for Buffalo. So they better figure it out. I don't know. They better figure it out because they shouldn't have lost that last game. But that's a tough schedule they got coming up. The flip side, let's go talk about Tampa Bay's schedule. Right now they're 3-3. Carolina's 0-6. Saints are 3-4. They're second at 3-3, and my Atlanta Falcons are number 1 in the division at 4-3. Y'all been doubting us, but we're number 1, baby. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about them and my Desmond Ridder concerns some point, a little bit here after this. But with their schedule, they got Houston left. That's Gonna be a tough game. Houston's a big surprise. That coach of the year could be. Um, Tennessee, I think they're rebuilding. I think they're selling. I've heard Derrick Henry's on the trade block. I've heard Hopkins on the trade block. I've heard Tannehill's on the trade block. Tannehill's out next this weekend, so I've heard Levis is starting. So I think that should be winnable. 49ers, I don't think they win that game. I think 49ers blow them out. Colts, Gardner's been doing his thing. So they could probably lose that one. Atlanta, I don't know if Bijan will actually play or not. Who knows? But that's a win or lose game. That's a toss up as always. Carolina should be winnable. Green Bay Packers should be winnable, but Green Bay's got a defense out there. Don't sleep on that. Alexander's fun to watch. Saints, who knows what they got with Derrick Henry or not Derrick Henry? Derek Carr. Who knows if they start Winston? Who knows? And then Carolina again. So 23-36 combined record. That's a winnable record. That's a winnable schedule. So who knows what that division holds? All those teams can win it. It's right there. Now, once it gets to the playoffs, I don't think any of those teams do anything. Maybe Atlanta, because I think Atlanta's had a very solid defense. They've given up, I think, one rushing touchdown on 150 attempts. So our defense has been top notch at moments. But with Desmond Ritter, I don't know. Like I said, we'll talk more. Saints, I can't trust Derek Carr. In that offense, I can't trust it. And then Carolina, I think they're falling. They're going. I'm pretty sure Chicago has their first pick, so who knows what they're going to do in the draft and all that. So, but who knows? It should be a good. I think it's going to be a good game overall. So I think my prediction for the score, I'm pretty sure it's in Buffalo. So I think Buffalo gets the dub, and I think both defenses, who knows between Baker and Kyle Trask, Godwin possibly being hurt. I just think Buffalo's more healthy, even though they lose at Oliver. I think Buffalo wins it. I think they score some points. I'm talking. What's their average? Points per game, 28.3 to 16.9. And then Tampa Bay's is 17-17. So I'm going to go somewhere in the ballpark. Decent defense. I will say 27 to 10. I'll say 27 to 10. I think Buffalo handles them. So that is the Thursday night talk about. So let's get into some injury updates for the league real quick. Let me cancel some of these out. So let's talk about Jerome Ford, doubtful for this week coming up. Said low grade, high ankle sprain, out at least 1 to 2 weeks. So that means Kareem Hunt is probably going to get the bulk of the carries. Strong's still out there, but it's going to be Hunt. Hunt being there, having a lot of success in that system, having a lot of success in his career rushing. It's going to be Hunt. So I would probably. Who are they playing? Hold on a second. Who are they playing? Hold on. Playing Seattle. I think you can start Hunt again in that. I think you can start Hunt. Justin Fields, a little bit on him. Doubtful. He's still got his thumb against the Chargers. I wouldn't start Baggett. Even if he plays well, I don't think he's going to do much fantasy. They might win, though, but I don't think they do. Again, we'll talk more about these games on Friday also. Like last Friday, Friday. We'll talk more about Sunday games. But Fields out, might be out again, probably be out. Who knows what Chicago's going to do with Fields and the draft, all that stuff. They having 2 picks. Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison. You got Brock Bowers. You got Penix. You got a couple offensive linemen. So who knows? They could trade because some teams out there. I've heard some people say New England may be trading up, getting Caleb Williams. You probably get a haul for this pick, man. But who knows? Depends on what they do at Phil's. Kyler Murray is most likely out again till week 10. So Dobbs most likely will get some more starts. Hold on a second. I got some more. I think I just got an update somewhere. Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker has moved from healthy to questionable. So let's go look him up real quick out in Seattle. They should have updated this by now then. Kenneth Walker. And that sucks because he's on my fantasy team, man. Either the next episode, we will start the fantasy talk. I know we haven't talked much about fantasy, but we're going to start getting into that more with our schedule. Just finally getting a little bit of a schedule going, routine going. So, and real quick, the shout moment. As always, like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you can get the notification and update when we put stuff out, shorts, videos. Like, subscribe. We appreciate all the support, as always. They got a couple injuries. Jordan Brooks, limited practice on Wednesday. Bobby Wagner's ankle, missed Seattle's practice. Kenneth Walker did not take part in Wednesday's practice due to a calf injury. And Zach Charbonnet, limited practice. So, they got some injuries out there. Tyler Lockett was held out of Wednesday's practice. So, they got a couple pieces, man. Looks like PJ Walker might be getting set up. Set up again for a third straight win. Shout out to PJ Walker getting them dubs coming out of the XFL. So Kyler Murray, they're saying out to week 10 against Atlanta. So Dobbs got a couple more starts. I don't think he start. I don't know. He's had an up and down year. He's had some very good moments in fantasy and some really down moments. So depending on you who have, and when we talk fantasy, we'll talk about waiver wires, all that stuff. But I don't know if you're starting, but it depends on who you have. If you got bye weeks, injuries. So he's definitely an injury replacement starter. Bye week replacement, 100%. He's worth the. He better be on somebody's roster. I will say that much. Devon Achane out until week 11. Got put on IR. So his rookie year is shut down for a little while. He had some great moments when he was playing, but Mostert, great year out in Miami. So it kind of hurt Achane's ability to show out a little bit, like Gibbs out in Detroit. But when he got his moments, like Gibbs, showed out. Showed the bright spots, especially in that monstrous whooping they put on Denver. Let's look at the Giants real quick. Because Jones, Barkley are both on the injury report, and last time I looked, there wasn't anything diagnosis on Jones last time I looked. So let me look. Saquon, last time I see is hyperextended elbow in the left, but he also said he's fine. And if Barkley's fine, you play him. You 100% play him. He's a starter. Daniel Jones, throw him away. Put him with Jimmy. And just put them outside the roster. They're hanging out outside. Let's see. Darren Waller, limited practice Wednesday due to hamstring issue. So Waller's on the injury report too. He's questionable. Saquon, limited practice. I think Barkley's going to play. I think he's going to play. But if he doesn't, let's go look at the options out there. Depth chart. There we go. Matt Breida could be a solid option. He could be a very solid option for him. And then playing the Jets. Great defense out there. I don't think I would start him. That defense is so good. So I probably wouldn't start Breida. Barkley, he's one of those players. He's a must start. You drafted him the first or at least by the second round, he was gone. So no matter what, you play him. Daniel Jones will practice Wednesday, but hasn't been cleared for contact workload will not increase. So it's looking like Tyrod Taylor will play again, and I love Tyler. He's kind of been screwed over the years uh, between Browns with Baker, uh, Buffalo with Josh Allen, Chargers with Herbert. Every time he showed out, and then the Giants now. Like he's played well over his career, and he's never got the respect he's never got flowers he's deserved. So I give Tyrod his flowers. He's had a successful career. Um, Overall, he's been a winner. I feel like he's won playoff games back when Jacksonville, I'm pretty sure, went to the AFC Championship. They probably should have won. They probably could have won that game against a very good defense, a very good Jalen Ramsey defense. So shout out to Tyrod Taylor. Give him his flowers. Let's see the David Montgomery update. Last time I looked, there was nothing there. And if he ain't playing, Gibbs is in your lineup, 100% starting. He showed that last week that he should be playing. If you have him, he should be starting. Still nothing on Montgomery. He's listed as questionable. No diagnosis. Montgomery likely out for a little bit, so I'm not gonna read too much into it right now for fantasy purposes. We'll leave that for a fantasy episode. But he's most likely out again, so get Gibbs in your lineup, especially with where is he at? Especially if Khalif, no, that Khalif. Never mind. So let's move on to Jimmy G. Look, last time there was no diagnosis. Again, no diagnosis. So who knows? Garoppolo won't play versus there. Blah blah blah. So I don't know. Even if he does play, who are they playing? Let's see. Who are the Raiders got? They're Monday night against Detroit. I wouldn't play him. I wouldn't play any of those quarterbacks out in Oakland. I don't even know if I play Adams at the time, just because the quarterback play. Like, so who knows, Jay? And then Zach Ertz strained his quad Sunday against Seattle, and he got put on IR. So, but Ertz I feel like was having a rebound year. Sucks for him. He's had a great career. Then what everybody's been waiting on, Deshaun Watson. There's a lot of talks out there with Watson going on. He's questionable again. It says what I read was a strain of subscapularis in the rotator cuff. They say in baseball usually causes pitchers to miss 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm hearing multiple things. I'm hearing that he really is hurt and he can't play. I've heard he's got a concussion. I've also heard he just don't want to play. Like he got paid and he's been garbage and he's like, I don't want to play no more. And he's crying. He just don't want to play. So I've heard multiple, but either way, even when he has played, he's been garbage. He's been horrible. And shout out to PJ Walker getting his wins. I'm pretty sure he's been through Carolina. I'm not sure about the Giants. I think he played for Giants. I'm not sure. I know he played for Carolina. And I love seeing PJ Walker get his opportunity coming out of XFL and doing big things in the NFL. Overall, give a little 5-minute segment on my Falcons. Just because it's me. And I'm going to talk about my boys, the Dirty Birds, who's having a fantastic year, I feel like. This year's a success, whether people think so or not. People don't like Smith. I like Smith. I'm still on the fence with Ritter, man. This is his first full season as a starter, and he's had bright spots, but man, he's had very low lows. Right now, 65.4 completion percentage, which is right with Baker. 1,600 passing yards, 232 yards a game, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, but he's been sacked 20 times. 20-0. That's a lot. Our offensive line is not the best. Our offensive line hasn't been the best in a long time. But we have bright spots. Matthews just might be getting old, but I think we've had great bright spots on that overall. Receiving core, Drake London's having a fantastic year. Jonnu Smith is having a rebound year. Kyle Pitts good year. Bijan is amazing and should be in the running for Rookie of the Year. I don't know what happened last Sunday. There's a lot going on with that, and it probably irritated people a lot. So overall, I think our offense is heading in the right direction. Algier, Bijan, great running back tandem. As I said Monday, they're a great. They remind me of Dunn and T.J. Duckett, combo wise. I feel like. Uh, then again, tight ends are cool. Drake London. We need another receiver. Our backups, Matt Collins is, he's cool. You know what I mean? But he's like a third string. Hodge, Miller. They're all like third, fourth, fifth string receivers. They're not that number two guy. So we need another number two receiver. Our defense is fantastic. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what the numbers say. Our defense is fantastic between Bates, Ellis is showing out, Landman's showing out. Richard Grant's been having a good year. Calais Campbell, AJ Terrell playing fantastic at that corner position this year, getting back to form. We've been great. Been great against the run. Been great against decent against the pass. Jesse Bates has been an amazing signing. Thank you, Cincinnati, for letting us get him. He's a great signing. Grady having a cool year. D. Alford having his moments. Akuda, I'm glad he's finally being able to play. Him and Terrell, I think, are going to be a great corner combo for a couple years if we keep it on the roster. But I think we're heading in the right direction. We're heading forward, and that's all that matters. And the biggest question is Ritter. What do we do with Ritter? I don't know. I'm like still on the fence. He's had bright spots and he's had low spots. Detroit, 201 yards, no touchdowns. Completion percentage 55. Jacksonville 191, 61 completion percent, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Houston a win, 329 yards, 1 touchdown, 75 percentage. Washington 307, 60% with 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but he threw the ball 47 times. He should not be throwing it 47 times. That's not his game. Then Tampa Bay 250 yards, no touchdown, no interceptions, 76 completion percentage with 107 pass rating. So every game it's just been a roller coaster ride. His decision making has been up and down. He's had good decision moments where he's ran the ball when he needed to, passed the right person, threw the ball out when he needed to. Then he's had bad decisions, like I think it was against Washington, driving down the field, gets to the end zone, and he's off his back foot, getting somebody, and he tries to throw it right to the defender. Like, bro, there was no way you were getting that to the receiver. No way. Throw the ball to the sideline. Throw it straight down. Take the sack. Intentional grind, whatever. You know what I mean? Throw the ball out. But there's something way different you could have did. So, I don't know. But we're heading in the right direction. We definitely 100% have a winnable schedule, I think. Let's go see who we got. Our schedule, see the rest of our schedule. We have Tennessee, rebuilding. Don't know what they're doing. Winnable. Minnesota. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be tough. I'll take the loss on that one, but I'll take the loss on that one. Arizona, winnable. We could beat Arizona. Saints are going to be tough at home or on the road. Saints are always tough. We usually split. So I'll say since we're at home, I'll say a dub. New York, that's going to be a tough one. I think we win it. I'll say we have the ability to win. The defense is going to be tough. Breece Hall is a beast, but our rush defense is great. I think we capitalize on playing Zach Wilson. I'm taking a dub. Tampa Bay, I think we win that. We won without Bijan. So who knows how that's going to go, but I think we could win that. Carolina, I think it's definitely winnable, especially this year. We beat them last time, right? Yeah, we won 24-10, winnable. Indianapolis, I'll take the loss on that. Indianapolis got a very solid squad. Gardner's been playing great. That defense has had its great moments. I'll take the loss on that one. Chicago, I think we can win Chicago. I think that's a win. It's a dub. And then New Orleans, I'll say that's a loss because it's in New Orleans. We usually beat them at home. They usually beat us at home. That's usually how it goes. So I can see us going 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 6-2, 7-2, 7-3. I can see us going 7-3 on the rest of the season. Like we have a real chance to win this division and make the playoffs. Now, how far we go in the playoffs? I don't think we beat Philadelphia. I don't think we beat 49ers. Dallas, I don't know what Dallas you're going to get. You're either going to get 7 pick Dak or 6 touchdowns Dak. I don't know. But I don't think we could beat Dallas. I think they're just overall more talented than we are. I think Dak's more talented than Ritter. Uh, then who else is there? Who else is in the standings? Let's go look at the conference real quick. Yeah, so I don't think we beat Philadelphia. I don't think. I think we give Detroit a run for money, but I don't know if we beat them. We don't beat 49ers. I think we could beat Seattle. We can beat Seattle. And I'll give Dallas. I think we beat Tampa Bay. I think we can beat Minnesota, but fully healthy Minnesota, I don't think we'd win that game, to be honest with you. We beat the Rams, and I think we could beat everybody else. You know what I mean? So overall, this season's already a success. No matter what we do, play calling has to get a little bit better. Ritter has to have it play better at moments. But overall, I think it's a successful season for Atlanta. So, but with that being said, I'm going to end it right there. Thank you for watching. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell so you can get all your updated notification needs at the moment we update it. As always, fourth and short, and y'all have a good night, family. Peace.